What's up everyone? Welcome to our lesson, the basic of the Photoshop. So in this lesson, I'm gonna be teaching you every single thing that you wanted to know about Photoshop basics. I will be starting with the very basics and I'm gonna be moving into some very advanced topics. So I'm gonna try to give you some details about this tutorial and tell you everything you need to know. So before we get started, we will open our Photoshop application. So to begin, just click start and find the Adobe Photoshop application here in the programs. Or else, if you have a shortcut on your desktop, just click it. So this lesson is an introduction in using Adobe Photoshop. Here, you will learn how to get started, how to use the interface, and how to modify images with the basic editing skills. So first, I will explain what the interface layout is. So if you look at the top of the screen, you will see the menu bar, which contains all the main functions of Photoshop. So we're going to take a quick look at some notable items in each of the menus. So first, the file. As usual, it handles opening, saving, and closing operations. Towards the end of this lesson, we'll be taking a look at your different saving options. So the edit, as usual, brings you copy, cut, and paste. In Photoshop, it's also where you transform layers and set your color spaces. The image brings you canvas and image adjustments, including destructive effects and that you also find in your adjustment palette. Options in this menu are designed to affect the image as a whole, although many adjustments are applied to only a single layer. So we have the layer. So the layer lets you do all the things you can do in the layer palette with a few more options. This menu also lets you create adjustments, layers, and smart objects, or a group of layers treated as a single object. In the select, while the marquee and lasso tools will be your main means of selecting things, the select menu can help you refine that selection or create entirely new selection based on certain criteria, such as color range and luminosity. So the filter brings you a wealth of built-in Photoshop filters that can blur, sharpen, distort, and alter your image in many different and unique ways. So the best way to get acquainted with these filters is to try them all. That can take a little time, but it's fun to play around with them and see what they do. We'll be getting into the specifics in subsequent lessons, but only looking at a few commonly useful filters. So the 3D, we're not covering 3D. So if you decide to learn more about 3D later, you may want to explore this menu on your own at some point. So the view, it provides you with various view options, lets you hide and show line guides you created, and make Photoshop snap to corners, edges, and to the grid on the canvas. Viewing of this invisible grid can also be turned on and off in the view menu. And lastly, the window. So the window lets you hide and show certain windows and palettes. You can also arrange your Photoshop windows and palettes however you want to and save them as a window preset. So if you look at the left side of our screen, most of the major tools are located in the toolbar for easy access. So we're not going to take a look at every single tool. but we are going to look at almost every one of them. So while this overview will give you an idea of what each tool does. So the first one, we have the move tool. The shortcut key for this tool is letter B as in victory. The move tool simply lets you move objects in a given layer around the Photoshop canvas. So to use it, click anywhere on the canvas and drag. As you drag, the Photoshop layer will move with your mouse. So the second one is the marquee tool. The shortcut key for this tool is letter M. The marquee lets you select part of the canvas in a specific shape. By default, you get a rectangular or perfect square if you hold down shift while selecting. But you can also select in the shape of an ellipse or a perfect circle if you hold down shift while selecting. So we have the lasso tool. The shortcut key for this tool is letter L. The lasso is a preform selection tool that lets you drag around the canvas and select anything the lasso area covers. Within this tool, you also have access to the polygonal lasso, which lets you create a selection by clicking around on the canvas and creating points. And the magnetic lasso, which works the same as the regular lasso but attempts to detect edges for you and automatically snap to them. We have the quick selection tool. The shortcut key for this tool is letter W. So clicking an area with the magic or the quick selection tool will tell Photoshop to select the spot you click on and anything around it if that's similar. So this tool can be used as a crude way to remove backgrounds from photos. We have the crop tool. The shortcut key for this tool is letter C. So the crop tool is used to crop your pictures. You can specify the exact size and constraints the crop tool to those proportions, or you can just crop to any size you please. We have the eyedropper tool. The shortcut key for this tool is letter I. The eyedropper tool lets you click on any part of the canvas and the sample of the color at that exact point. The eyedropper will change your foreground color to whatever color it sampled from the canvas. So next we have the healing brush. So the shortcut key for this tool is letter J. The healing brush lets you sample part of the photograph and use it to paint over another part. Once you're finished, Photoshop will examine surrounding areas and try to blend what you painted in with the rest of the picture. We have the paintbrush and pencil or the paintbrush tool. The shortcut key for this tool is letter B, as in boy. So the paintbrush is a tool that emulates a paintbrush. The paintbrush, however, can be set to many different kinds of brushes. You can paint with a standard paintbrush and airbrush styles, or even paint with the leaves and other shape as well. So next we have the clone stamp tool. The shortcut key for this tool is letter S, as you can see. Like the healing brush, the clone stamp lets you sample part of the photograph and use it to paint over another part. With the clone stamp, however, that's it. Photoshop doesn't do anything beyond painting one area over a new area. We have the history brush. The shortcut key for this tool is letter Y. So the history brush lets you paint back in time. Photoshop keeps track all the moves you make. Well, 50 by default. And the history brush lets you paint the past back into the current photo. Say you brighten up the entire photo but you wanted to make a certain area look like it did before you brighten it. You can take the history brush and paint that area to bring back the previous darkness. Next, we have the eraser tool. The shortcut key for this tool is letter E. It's pretty obvious that the eraser tool is the tool in erasing stuff. The erase tool is almost identical to the paintbrush, except it erases instead of paints. So we have the paint bucket tool. The shortcut key for this tool is letter G. So the paint bucket tool lets you fill in a specific area with the current foreground color. And the gradient tool will by default create a gradient that blends the foreground and background tool. So we have the blur, sharpen, and smudge tools. So the shortcut key for this tool is none. All three of these tools act like paintbrushes, but each has a different impact on your feature. The blur tool will blur the area where you paint. The sharpen tool will sharpen it, and the smudge tool will smudge the area all around the canvas. The smudge tool is very useful in drawing for creating nicely blended colors or for creating whips and smoke that you can add to your photos. The next one is the burn, dodge, and sponge tools. The shortcut key for this tool is letter O. The burn, dodge, and sponge tool are paintbrush-like tools that manipulate light and color intensity. The burn tool can make areas in your photo darker. The dodge tool can make them lighter. The sponge tool can saturate or desaturate color in the area you paint with it. These are all very useful tools for photo touch-ups. So we have the pen tool. The shortcut key for this tool is letter P. The pen tool is used for drawing vector graphics. It can also be used to create paths that can be used for various things that we'll discuss in a later lesson. So the type tool or the text tool, the shortcut key for this tool is letter T. The type tool lets you type horizontally. Tools hidden beneath the horizontal type tool will let you type vertically and also create horizontal and vertical text masks. So we have the path tool. The shortcut key for this tool is letter A. The path tool lets you move any created paths around. It's like the move tool but for paths. We have the shape tool. The shortcut key for this tool is letter U. The shape tool lets you create vector rectangles, rounded rectangle tool, ellipse tool, polygon tool, line tool, and custom shape tool. These tools are very useful when designing or when creating shape masks for photos. We have the hand tool. The shortcut key for this tool is letter H. The hand tool allows you to click and drag around the Photoshop canvas. If the entire canvas currently fits on the screen, this tool won't do anything. This tool is for easily navigating around when you're zoom in or a picture is simple too big to fit on the screen at 100%. So the next one is the zoom tool. The zoom tool, it's pretty obvious that you can zoom in and zoom out of the Photoshop canvas by clicking on a given area. So by default, the zoom tool only zooms in. To zoom out, hold down the option key and use the zoom tool as you normally would. We have the color selection tools. The shortcut key for this tool is letter D for defaults and X to switch foreground and background colors. So this tool lets you manage the colors you're using. The color on top is the foreground color. And the color in the back is the background color. The foreground color is what your brushes will use. The background color is what will be used if you delete something from the background or extend it. The two smaller icons up top are shortcut functions. So there it is. The left one, showing a black square on a white square, will set your foreground and background color to the defaults. The double-headed curved arrow will swap your foreground and background color. Clicking on either the foreground or background color will bring up a color picker so you can set them to precisely the color you want. And if you look at the right side of our screen, we have the palettes. Palettes are the things that you see sitting over on the right side of your screen. As I said earlier, they make it easy for you to navigate through your document, add adjustments, switch modes, and other things. So the first palette is the layers palette. Lets you see all the layers in your document. As you start getting to know Photoshop, you will find yourself in this palette more than any other. It lets you organize and arrange your layers, set blending modes, set visibility and opacity of layers, group and merge layers, and a bunch of other neat things we learn about in future lessons. We have the adjustments panel is where you can easily create and edit adjustment layers. Adjustments layers are non-destructive image alterations that affect all the layers below them and can easily be turned on and turned off. Their most common use is for color correction, or namely the levels and curves adjustments. But there are many different kinds of adjustments you can perform that can dramatically alter the look of your image. We have the color channels. The color channels palette will let you look at the specific colors that make up your picture. If you're in RGB mode, you'll get red, green, and blue. These color channels will differ if you're in a different color space, such as CMYK or lab. When you choose a specific color, you'll notice you'll be shown your image in different versions of black and white. This is because each color channel is simply a monochromatic images representing the light in channel. Switching between these different channels is useful for making color channel specific touch-ups. Overall, contrast enhancement and also for converting your photo to black and white in a compelling way. So we have the color picker. So this palette will let you easily alter your foreground and background colors using sliders. Or you can use the color ramp here at the bottom of the color palette. We have the swatches palette. The swatches palette is a set of predefined colors you can quickly choose from. You can load in several other pre-made swatch collections or you create your own too. We have the history palette. It lets you go back in time to undo any previous alterations. The standard undo command in the edit menu will simply toggle between undoing and redoing the latest action performed on your image. So the history panel is where you can go back much further. We have the character palette. So the text or character palette and the paragraph palette below it let you make all sorts of adjustments to any text you created with the type tool. So these options are very similar to what you'll find in the word processing, but you can also specify things like character within spacing which are more useful in design.